Back now at 7:41 on your Tuesday morning, and today is day 2 for Colorado's case against a grocery mega merger. The trial began on Monday, and Colorado's lawsuit echoes concerns from the Federal Trade Commission and grocery union members who worry that this merger would limit competition, drive up prices, and lead to store closures. Attorneys for Kroger argue that the deal, though, is necessary to compete with Walmart and that it will actually drive down prices by selling off dozens of Safeway stores across the state. Until the judge makes a decision, that merger is on hold. Court is set to resume in about 20 minutes. So joining me this morning to break down this case is 9 News legal analyst Whitney Traylor. Whitney, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Let's first talk about this argument regarding driving prices up or down, and also how it relates to competition.
Right. So the notion behind antitrust is that the FTC and other entities, in this case the Attorney General Weiser, are trying to promote competition, and they're saying that, hey, this merger is going to actually, and the idea behind it is you have a King Soopers here and a Safeway here. They're watching each other's prices. They're giving the best possible customer service, because if they don't, shoppers are going to go somewhere else. Well, if one of those stores is gone, and that's what the concern is in some counties across the state, there will only be one store, or there'll be one 60 miles away is the closest grocery store. So people are going to have to shop at like convenience stores for their groceries. And so the notion is, hey, if we have all of these stores going away, that's going to minimize competition. Now, Kroger and Albertsons, they're saying, no, this is going to allow us to provide a better service. This is actually going to, we're going to
compete against giant stores like Walmart.
Exactly. And that's their concern. Walmart, Amazon, things like that. And folks are saying, well, now we're going to have even a more concentrated grocery store situation with less players, and that's going to hurt the consumer.
Well, this lawsuit is not the only one that's out there. It's actually one of 3. Talk about those other lawsuits and how they're all linked together.
Right. So the Federal Trade Commission and a number of other states joined together to sue, and they actually went through their trial. And we should expect that was before a federal judge who should issue a ruling in the next probably 2 months. And then Washington State, like Colorado, initiated its own lawsuit. So Washington State is suing under antitrust laws related to that state, whereas here AG Weiser is suing based on Colorado state laws, and then we have the FTC. So the Washington lawsuit started September 16th. It's, I think, got another week. Ours just started yesterday. That's slated to go about 3 weeks. And then the FTC has completed its lawsuit. We're waiting on the hearing in the next 2 to 3 months. And the reality is, if they lose, if the grocery stores really lose any of those, the merger will probably not go through, because it's a national merger. So there's not going to be like state carve-outs.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So obviously at the center of these cases are the companies themselves. At the center of our coverage, though, are the consumers at home. How is this going to affect Coloradans if a merger were to go through?
Well, that's going to be a question. I mean, it depends on who you're listening to. If you're listening to the grocery stores, they're going to say, oh, you're not going to see much difference, because part of their argument is, look, as part of the merger, we're going to sell, I think, several hundred of the stores to CNS, another company. But folks are saying, well, CNS only has 29 stores right now. It can't take on 500 stores. It's not financially viable. So if you trust them, the grocery stores, then things should be the same because they're selling off.
It's hard to know what to trust right now with all this information out there. Let's talk historically, though. In situations like this, what has happened with companies?
Well, that's what AG Weiser pointed out. I heard him give a statement yesterday, and he said, well, this happened a few years ago with Hagen's. When Hagen's bought over, there was a merger, and Hagen's bought some of the stores. It wasn't viable, and it had to sell them back to the merged companies, which kind of defeats the purpose, because when you do these mergers, you have to put together a plan that the FTC approves, and it says, here's how we're going to ensure there's still going to be competition. And one of those ways is selling off some of your own stores. But if they ultimately, months or even a few short years later, are sold back to the merged companies, it doesn't make sense.
All right, well, we're going to keep a close eye on this case for everybody at home, like you mentioned, going on for about 3 more weeks of all of this. Whitney, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And should there be any development, we'll make sure we bring that to you at home.